Hi everyone, this is Shannon from theirishscrapper.com, and today we are making this super cute card. This is actually going to be my team's make and take. So for all my team members, we do challenges every month, a color challenge, a theme challenge. I also send them a make and take each month so that we can do them together even though they're virtual, since some of my team members are outside of my state. So this is for August, and I'm using a few different stamp sets here. So I'm using one of my favorites, the Happy Birthday Gorgeous. I'm using the floral image and the leaf image to create the background. I'm using thoughtful banners for the word friend, as well as the banner. I'm going to use the punch that coordinates with this. That is the Duet, I think it's called Duet, banner punch. And then I'm getting the sweet from the Cupcake Cutout Framelits. Love that set as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and show you how I created this. We are using Wisteria Wonder. This is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. I have a piece of basic black, and that is 2 3/4 by 4 1/4. I have a piece of Whisper White that is 2.5 by 4, and then I just have a scrap of the Wild Wasabi that I'm going to use to punch the banner. And then we're also going to use a scrap to cut the word sweet. And then as far as our stamp pads, we are using Perfect Plum, Wisteria Wonder, and Wild Wasabi. We are also using our Delicate White Doilies. Love those. And we are embossing using the Garden Trellis embossing folder, which is one of the newer folders in the catalog. I love this gorgeous pattern. Alright, so let's start with that. We'll actually do the embossing. Alright, so here I have my Big Shot. I have the Big Shot platform. I'm going to put in my acrylic plate. I'm going to grab my Wisteria Wonder and that embossing folder, and I'm just going to put this right up to the top of the folder, and we are going to run this through. So I'm going to take my other cutting plate and roll this through, so excuse the wobble. My tripod wiggles a little bit. Okay. So look at that. Isn't that pretty? It just really pops. Love it. Alright, so we're going to use the Big Shot now to cut the word sweet. So I'm going to switch platforms. I have my magnetic platform here as well as my precision base plate, which is nice to have for some of these delicate dies. So we're going to put that down, and then we're just going to need one acrylic plate, and we're going to run this through, and I'm going to run it through twice. So there's one. I'm going to back it up and bring it back through. Okay, and then we are done with our Big Shot. Alright, so there's our word sweet cut out. So now we can go ahead and do our stamping. So I'm going to bring in a piece of our grid paper, and we're going to use that piece of Whisper White. I'm going to start with the flower, actually. So I'm going to be using the little flower. I'll show you which one. Let's see. I'm using this one here, and you can see there's a little arrow, and that's for lining it up because you do have the fill coordinating stamp for that. So I'm going to stamp it in the Perfect Plum, and then we're going to fill it with the Wisteria Wonder. Alright, so I'm going to ink this up, and I think I'm gonna do kind of the corners first, and no, certain way. I'm just kind of creating my own background. So you can do it however you'd like. We're going to switch the stamp And we're going to fill this up with the Wisteria Wonder. And it looks a little funny when it's wet. It will look a little bit better when it dries. At first I was thinking, oh, I probably should have changed the color, but I actually like it. Sometimes you just need to give it some time to dry. Whoops. Okay, perfect. All right, now we're going to do the leaves in the Wild Wasabi. Let me switch that over. So I'm going to be using this leaf here. It's this one in the stamp set. I know sometimes that's hard to see. So we're going to ink that up. And same thing, I'm kind of going to stamp off. We're going to fill in some of this white space with our leaves. And if they overlap, that's okay. Okay, I think I'm going to come up this way on that one. That actually looks pretty good, just like that. Okay. Alright, now we can get rid of our scrap piece of paper. We'll bring back our card base here, and I'm going to give this a nice crease. This garden trellis is such a pretty background. Okay, so now let's layer our pieces together. So I'm going to take that Whisper White, put that over the black. That'll make it really pop. That looks good. Okay, now with the doilies, you can see this was a full doily and I trimmed off the edge. We're going to use that to come out here. Okay, so you can choose to use your paper trimmer or just a pair of scissors. These are very delicate, so just be forewarned to be careful with them. They could tear. So I will show you. I'm going to kind of drop my blade in the center, and then I'm going to trim it. Okay, and then you might need to clean out your track there if you get any residue. Scissors work just fine as well. Okay, so I'm going to take my liquid mono glue, and I'm kind of going to line that up, and then I'm just going to put a little bit there, and then I'll know where I want to place that. Okay, so I think that looks good. So I'll just give that a little bit of a press. Okay, now I'm going to bring in my fast fuse because the base is embossed. I want to be sure that this sticks and doesn't pop up. And then we'll lay that there. So far, so good. All right. So now I will go ahead and bring in that Duet banner punch. I want the banner on the bottom, so I just have a scrap here, which should work. I'm just going to punch that out. And then we are going to use the word friend from the Thoughtful Banners. There's the friend. And then I'm going to bring back that Perfect Plum, since that's the deeper tone of purple. And I'm going to stamp that gently. Since it is such a small word, you don't have to press too hard. I'm just going to stamp that in the center of my banner. And then we can finish up our card. Alright, so I'm going to flip this over. We'll use a bit of snail on the back of that. I'm going to let that overhang onto the doily. I think that's good about there. Okay, and then with this suite, you can use your silicone craft sheet if you'd like. I'm going to bring in the fine tip glue pen. This is really essential for these skinny dies. Pretty quickly, so you don't want to take too much time. Then we are going to lay that there, And as you guys know, I love using my blocks to hold on my word, and I actually think that's a little crooked. Whoops. So I'm just going to give that a second to sit, and then our card will be complete. Give that a little press. And that completes our card. Isn't that fun? Lovely. So I hope my team likes this card. They will be getting their little packets in the mail from me to complete this. If you do want more information about joining my team, I do have a link in the description of the video. Or if you'd like to purchase any of the products that we used today, you will also find a supply list there. And I look forward to being back with you guys real soon. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.